I'm gonna make her faster and that's gonna improve the sit?
Well, getting her to sit faster.
Okay, and
So
so,
she doesn't have time to loop
doesn't
out.
have time to loop. Okay, so how have you tried to get her to sit faster?
I have, I've on leash, put either a toy or a treat out. I've taken it completely out of the exercise and sent her for whether it's the toy or the treat, and given her a sit command, pop to sit, and then she gets the toy or the treat.
Okay, so can we just try it today so I can
Sure.
see it?
Uh-huh.
And are you okay to do go outs first?
Sure.
Is she wide awake and ready to go?
Yep.
Okay.
She's like, of course she
Can I
is.
change my mind?
Pardon me?
Can I change my mind? I want you to do gloves 3 first.
Okay.
We're gonna do glovies.
I think one of the hardest things to communicate to a dog is, I love what you're doing, I want you to do it faster. Because most of the time when we try to communicate, increase your speed, they don't hear
They don't
that.
get it.
What they hear is, you want me to do that. So let's just look at it from a drop on recall standpoint. The dog's coming in, he's dropping, but you think he's traveling too far. And how do you say to a dog, I love that you're dropping, but I really wish you wouldn't take 4 steps before you did it. So what do? We do things like run at them, okay? And as you're saying, go down faster. What the dog is hearing is go down. And the dog is saying, I am going down. Why is everybody all hung up about this? Okay, they don't hear faster. It's really hard when you have a dog who's doing the right thing and you say, I want you to do that right thing quicker. So let's take a look at this. The reason I'm doing glove 3, I don't know if it's obvious, but I want to put some, an attraction over there. You don't have to put glove 1 out. Glove 2 and 3 is fine. I want to send her over here, tell her she's good, and maybe that will make her do her loop worse. All right, number 3.
Heel. Get it.
There was a little loop there.
That was bad.
Okay, that's okay. Just go on because those 2 things are related, aren't they? Okay, good. Pick up number 2. Now, come on back, Jeannie. Let's just try to go out. I just want to see what happens.
Good girl.
She's just a loopy dog.
Mine has that rubber.
Go ahead.
Go. Sit. That's really unusual.
Okay. Well, it's a blue stanchion, not a red stanchion, and that was kind of screwy. See, no, come here.
Okay,
Come here.
No.
Now, move up. You're gonna do one.
Come on.
Right there. This is what I hate when you're like working on X and Y shows up. You're like, oh darn it! I wanted to work on X, not Y. Go ahead.
Go.
No, come here.
Come on.
Wait, I'm gonna do something. Back.
With me. Yes.
If they see like the color line, they don't see
I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna replace the red ones with blue ones. She may not be able to fix it, but I don't know what color they see when it's red. And so I just want to make sure that all the stanchions are the same color.
So I don't know.
Now, Jeannie, I would move up. I would say,
They almost see braids of blue and yellow. A little bit of green.
Go. No.
move up again. Now, this is important, and Jeannie's humoring me. I will not show this dog where go out is.
Yeah.
I will make it as easy as I have to, but I will not take her out there.
Good. No. Huh?
Okay, that was just jumping over the cracks there. So wait a minute, stop right there. Sit. Now turn.
Go. Sit. Yes.
Okay, will you sit her for me this time before she touches the stand?
Sit place. Heel.
Yeah, that's fine, but sit her before she gets there.
Go. Sit. Yes.
That was a good sit, good quick sit.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Back up a little bit and see what we get, but I need you to sit her again.
Heel. Go. Sit.
That stupid break in the mat
I know.
is causing us a problem. So, do me a favor now. Or we can go this way.
Oh, okay.
You wanna go that way?
So,
Come on, Kate.
okay.
Down. Wait.
Wait a minute,
Is
you
it
gotta
set?
move things.
I don't know which one.
Down.
Direction because of that.
Down.
I know, well, but let's just go this way, because it'll be a brand new rink race. You don't need to go.
Okay.
So,
Was that one like that?
let's, do me a favor. Let's make this the center stanchion. How did you know? How did you know?
That's what it said. But her wheelchair pulled on the bottom of the mat. Y'all was not happy. Kathy wasn't expecting that to be so heavy. Did you see her face? What?
Good girl.
Okay. All right, now let's take a look at this. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Yeah, I like it. Okay?
Heel. Yep.
All right. So I said that teaching them that they had to do something faster is difficult to communicate. But in this situation, it's also an indirect solution to the problem.
Was it here or was it?
And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Go ahead, Cinder.
Go. Sit.
Okay. So, do the bar drum.
Bar. Front.
Mark it.
Yes.
Okay. So you see what's happening? She's pulling this way
Uh-huh.
to go this way. So I'm going to throw out a whole bunch of ideas. You tell me what you like best. When I see that banana start to develop, I put guides in the middle of the ring so that I can get this dog to go
Okay.
dead straight down the center of the ring. Most of the time that you see that, it will be with a herding dog. The corgis, the border collies, okay, they give you an outrun instead of a go out straight. Shelties, all right. So that's the first thing, is as soon as I see that, I would straighten that out. An indirect solution to the problem means if I teach her to sit quicker, maybe I'll fix the fact that it's a loopy sit. Okay? So it's indirect. I'm not saying to her, don't sit loopy. I'm saying sit quicker, I hope it fixes what I really want to fix. How could I say to her, don't sit loopy? Okay? That would be a direct solution to the problem. Indirect is when people say to me, my dog anticipates the finish to the right, so I've taught him a finish to the left. That's an indirect solution to the problem. A direct solution is, my dog anticipates the finish to the right, so I'm going to teach him to sit until I tell him to finish. That's a direct solution. You follow me? So we're trying to solve it indirectly. How could I solve it directly? One of the things that I would do is see that if I could distract her over on the right-hand side, Because if I send her out, and as I say sit, somebody calls her, and she goes to the distraction, then I can go out and say, what are you doing over here? I told you to sit. And because she's a smart dog and she's had tons of training, I think she will subsequently come out from that and say, you know, when somebody says, hi, Kate, what are you doing? She'll say, I am not paying any attention to you. You got me in trouble. That's more direct to me. Don't push to the right. I also have done this with somebody with a flexi lead on a dog who is standing here. So that, and you have to do this from close. But as she sits, I just let them try to pull her to the right. Just pull her over there. So that I can say, no, you have to resist the pressure. You have to sit right where you are. When I do that, I usually have guides out because it makes it clear to the dog that they step to the right. Do any of those things appeal to you?
Yeah, I mean, they all sound like good strategies. I should mention one other thing that I've done.
Okay.
And that is put a toy or a treat kind of out off to either side of the go out area, and she will avoid that.
So you put them to the right and left, or both? Do you have two toys out, or one?
One.
Okay.
And I more often put it off to the left.
That's interesting, because I would think that she would push to the right to keep away from it.
She does. But, well, I haven't put it out to the right, so why don't I try that?
Can I put these out wide
Yeah.
to try to clean up the loop on the
Yeah,
way out?
yeah.
So I do absolutely teach go outs as a path. I do not teach it as a retrieve. I do not teach it with a target other than the stanchion. And some people balk a little bit at the stanchion being the target, and I can talk to you about how to get rid of the stanchion, but the reality is that in the majority of the shows, you're gonna have a stanchion in the middle. And that's just a mathematics thing.
Yeah.
Gates are 10 feet wide and the ring is 40 feet across. And if you put up 4 10-foot gates, you're gonna have a stanchion in the middle. I mean, you know, that's just the way it is.
Probably 95% of the time.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
right here.
All right, so I want you to do a go out from here because I don't want her to worry about this. Move up even more so that that's just something on the floor. And guys, if I'm using guides, I always use 2. Do not put out one guide. Say, oh, my dog pulls to the left, so I'm only going to put the guide to the left. Then it becomes a target, not a guide. If you want guides, have it be something they go between. All right. Go ahead.
Good. Sit.
Okay, so it's straighter, wasn't it? Okay, so come back and do it again. And come back further. And again, I might try to move these guides closer together after she got used to them, but I don't want to fight with her about whether she's inside the guides or not because she's never used them before.
Well, I have occasionally used them, and when I've done that, I've gotten frustrated because she's treated it like I'm supposed to stay outside of these things.
Right, and so my approach is to usually put them further apart, and as they learn to go between, move them closer together.
Okay.
Not to put them the distance I would like them to be apart, and then fight with them about getting between.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So try that again.
Go. Sit.
But
Good
that
girl.
was a nice sit.
Good girl.
Now, I don't think there's really any way for us to praise her for sitting quickly, because I think she just thinks she's getting praise for sitting,
Yeah.
right? Are these lined up, Jeannie?
Yes. Well, yeah, they are.
I want to see what happens, because she's still pulling a little left
Yes.
in order to turn to the right.
Go.
No,
No.
she knew it because we hadn't even said anything. Come here, Jeannie. Come here. Okay, send her from right here. Do we have any chicken wire in this building? Any wire of any sort? What? A piece of wire of any sort?
Yeah, here, hold that. Yeah, let me find it.
Yes.
Good for you. You can't really do yes, sit. Does she have a stanchion behavior, Jeannie?
Pardon me? Touch.
Okay, so let's not say yes and then sit.
Okay.
And let's not say touch and then sit. We're gonna either let her touch or we're gonna have her sit. Okay, go back and let's just try this.
Good girl.
That's all over the
Buddy. Good girl.
Go ahead.
Go.
Yes.
Sit.
No, go out and work that.
Good girl.
Wow.
Looking at us.
Good girl.
You tried to trick me.
Look at you. Heel. Good.
There's your path. That's where you're going.
Go.
Mark it.
Sit.
Oh,
That's
Yes.
it. Okay, bar jump.
Bar.
I gotta get around all this crap to get to the bar jump. Okay, I'd like to try something this time, if you're willing.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go over there to the right.
Okay.
And you're gonna sit her as soon as she gets in those guides, and I'm gonna call her to me with a treat.
Okay.
And if she comes, you just come get her.
Okay.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey.
I got nice cookies.
Yeah, but I got better ones.
The who just wanted her to come.
She doesn't realize she's gonna set up. Whereas Judy would say, I'm not going in.
there's your path. That's where you're going.
Go. No. Come.
That's right. Move up. Move up.
Okay.
And that's all right. I mean, this is a lesson she has to learn. You can't avoid them. That's not how you're allowed to solve the problem.
There's your path.
Go.
That's where you're going.
Sit. No.
Now, just come and get her. Take her over to where you said sit.
I
And put her in a
didn't
sit.
think she was gonna do it.
And say, sit.
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 That's right. Sit. That's it.
Take her back and do that again. In all honesty, I thought that was a very honest mistake. I thought that if she could have talked, she would have said, well, gee, I had no idea I had to sit when somebody offered me a cookie. She's never said that before. Go
Go.
ahead.
No. Come.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And she was the first, well, I hate it when I say that. I'm not a dog. I can only give you my best guess. We don't always know what dogs think. We think we do, but we don't. So that is my impression, that she was avoiding the pressure, but I might be wrong.
Go. Sit.
Sweetheart, come on over here.
Good girl. Yes. That was very good.
So that might be one way to start to pattern that quicker sit.
Okay, get it.
Okay, so let's try this. Hey, sweetie.
Okay.
Okay, look at this. This is a whole bag. A whole bag. A whole bag.
If you play your cards right, you get them from me.
Check it out.
There's your path. That's where you're going.
Go. Sit. Yes. What a good
And I might walk over there and get her treat out of the bag and take it to her.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, you're right. There's cookies over there. But we don't, this is not direct path to reward. This is indirect path to reward. You need to go to spot A in order to get a treat from spot B.
Know where Zelda would go.
Right? This is not chase the cookie.
Okay, let's
She's got no Zelda. You can't resist.
I just want to show you one more thing, but and then we'll take a break. But go ahead, send her out on one more go.
Okay, deal.
There's your path.
Go. No.
terrible.
You can do better than that. You are better than that. Come on, heel. There's your pen. That's where you go. Go. No, come.
Move up, move way up. It's interesting. I'm not exactly sure what broke it after that many repetitions, other than, how about this?
Go. No, come.
Okay, be careful. Don't stop her too soon. I know it looked like she was gonna get over there, but she may have fixed it, and we don't wanna stop her for doing the right thing. So let her commit to that mistake.
Go.
Wait. No. Move up, move up.
Come on.
That's interesting that the bag of treats is more pressure than me. Wait a minute.
Because that odor is probably.
I'm not in this business to make dogs crazy. I just want to get them trained. And if that's just too much for her right now, let's give her a little more space
Zelda
to
would have
do it
beaten
right.
everyone at that bag of treats.
Go. Sit.
You go.
Yes, that's right.
Let's just try something. I'm curious, okay? Just have her sit. And I'm just gonna pull this ear. Come here, Kate. Kate, I'm on your team.
Hey.
Interesting.
Put this on the flat collar. And put her in the box.
Sit. Good.
Now,
Sit.
sit. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna pull, stay right there. I'm gonna pull a little bit this way. Praise her.
Good. Yes.
Give her a reward. Stay right there. Now,
Good. Good. Good girl. Good.
now, do you think, going in order, that if you sent her from right there, and I let her sit, and then I pulled on this, could we make it clear to her, we don't want you to go to the right?
Wait. Let's try it.
All right, right from there. We're not gonna make it any harder than that. We're gonna have to get untangled in the rope. Spin it around. Good. I really want her to be right, so we're gonna see if we can explain this to her. Go ahead.
Sit. Okay.
Go ahead.
Wait. Come on. Heel. Go. Sit.
Now what?
Good. Yes. Good girl.
Now, this time I'm gonna pull just a second sooner, so that maybe she's not quite sitting when I put pressure on the rope, and see if she will resist that and pull back the other way.
Okay. Heel.
By the way, if Jeannie were coming to dog obedience classes, we wouldn't have done all these things in one day. Right? But it's a 2-day seminar, so we're kind of experimenting with some different techniques.
Hey. Good. Good. Sit. So. Sit. Good.
See what
Yes.
I'm trying to do? Don't go that way. Don't go that way. Work to sit. Good. Let's quit on that. I think that was great.
Yeah.
And let's sleep on it,
Uh-huh.
right? And decide whether we're making progress.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants to sleep
Now, guys,
on
when
the
I
face,
use
but
guides-
she's gonna take up all day.
I start with broad jump board guides. They are big and white. Here's what I know about dogs. White is the easiest color for them to see. I know that from my years of training retrievers in the field. When they will do a 50-foot go out with big white guides anywhere, so I can go set up my 4 gates and my 5 stanchions, and we'll talk about that in a second, and usually 2 sets of broad jump boards, and I can get the dog out of the truck and I can say, hey, do you see that? And they go, oh yeah, there's the white dotted line out to go out. And they'll run out there. Then I shrink the guides, still with something white, and it's usually PVC pipe or 2-inch boards. It's white, but it's smaller. And then when they can do that, I shrink the guides to my little white folding rulers because they're really convenient and they fit in my training bag. And when they can do that, I change to a neutral color folding ruler. They come in different colors, by the way. And when I can do that, if I have a building to train in, I paint my rulers on one side the color of the mats in the building that I train in, so that I still have a 6-foot guide, but it's camouflage. And the reason I do that is that, imagine that these rulers had been painted black. And imagine that she comes running out here, and I don't think she can see them from there when they're painted black, but she comes all the way out here, and then she gets here. Well, she can see them when she gets here, can't she? And now Jeannie says to her, no, you're wrong. She looks down and goes, well, I am. What are they doing over there? If you don't use guides at all, I think this is a very difficult problem to define for the dog. I don't know how to say to the dog, I love that you went 50 feet, but you ended up 2 feet to the left. But if the guides are there, it's very clear to them. I'm going to tell you that I use guides almost all the time with my own dog. They're hard to see until she gets all the way out there, but they're there. They're there so I can communicate mistake if there is one.
So you don't fade them out before you show?
No, they're there or they're not there.
So about the only time you're not there is in the show ring?
I would say probably 1 out of 5 days they're not there.
Okay.
But by having them there, I am just creating a habit. It just becomes a habit to run straight. Now, I have shown this to people before, and they're smarter, and so they think, oh, I got a plan. I'm gonna take my rope, and I'm gonna have 50 feet of rope on either side of go out. This is a real thing, by the way. And I'm gonna say go out, and as soon as the dog goes crooked, I'm gonna pull up the rope, right? And so there's a 50-foot line all the way back on either side of the dog. Well, what happens when you have that much guide, is that they do go out like this.
Which one's gonna move?
Yeah, and I don't want them to be looking down when they do go out. I want them going for the target, but I want them running straight.
Jamie jumped over him.
And so that's overkill. Please don't.
She stepped up.
If you have a dog who just naturally runs straight, you may not need them in the middle. I always start with 2 sets of guides when I have a young dog, because I don't know whether he's going to naturally run straight or not, and I'd rather get him in the habit of running straight and not need it than try to fix it after they start to go. Okay? So literally, there are days where there are no guides there in training, but there are a lot fewer days without guides than there are guides. I just think when they're hard to see anyway, all it does is create confidence when they run out there and sit between the guides and go, look, I caught them, they're in the right place, I got it. Okay? I thought she did a great job. And I don't think we need all of those things, but I think, it may be that she's so concerned, she's easily concerned.
Yeah,
She wants to do the right thing. It may be that with this dog, all you have to do is every few days drop something she wants over to the right, and she goes, I remember, I'm not going over there. Okay. And then a couple days later, it's Thursday before the weekend shows, you drop your training bag over there, and she goes, I'm not going over there. I'm just trying so hard to be a good dog. That may be enough to remind her. It's very unusual to get a dog trained at this high a level and not have a few things you have to remind them about occasionally. Okay? I think you're adorable. Okay? So that just becomes part of your training, is to say, let me remind you have to run in on the moving stand. Let me remind you that you can't pull right on the go out. Let me remind you that you can't drop your head on the about turns in the corners. It's like a little bit of a game of whack-a-mole. Like, don't forget that, and then that one pops up. Don't forget that. We'd love to think we can solve all the problems. Typically, it's about balance and making sure we put the right idea in their head. Does that make sense to you all? Mercedes, I might have to make you wait for just a second so we can take a quick break. Do you mind? Then there's snacks in there. So let's just stretch. We're just going to stop for maybe 10 minutes.